Dogs, cats, and cows, the subject of legislation filed at the Illinois Capitol. And one of those could be heard today in committee. Welcome in. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us each and every weekday morning, keeping you posted of what's going on here in Illinois, the land of Lincoln. So last segment, we talked about various pieces of legislation that could come up today and the various committees that there are this afternoon. And those deal with firearms. But there's tons of other bills out there that could come up today. But let's look at this story Jim Talamonte put together. Dogs, cats, and cows, the subject of legislation filed at the Illinois Capitol. And it talks about a bill from State Representative Barbara Hernandez that would essentially say that, you've got restriction on euthanasia in shelters. She said that she cares a lot about animals and wants to make sure that we protect them from unfortunate surgeries. You've got other legislation. This will be heard today. Jennifer Sanalitro, Republican from Hanover Park, has House Bill 1902, which would require breeders to genetically test dogs, canines, and genetic defects of diseases that cause early death. And if that's the case, then they would be sterilized. Curtis Tarver, Chicago Democrat, has a bill to ban dogs under the age of 8 weeks from being brought into Illinois. There's another bill that Tarver has, which would require dogs and cats undergo a veterinary exam if they're imported into Illinois. You've got a bill from Julie Morrison, Democrat from Lake Forest, a state senator, that would amend the Animal Control Act to provide regarding an examination for rabies and an exemption for rabies in some cases. We mentioned this yesterday, and it got an interesting reaction from the live listeners and viewers. State Senator Rachel Ventura has Senate Bill 45 that would essentially ban the practice of pulling cowtails. She posted an explanation on her website stating that rodeos have long been a cornerstone of cultural heritage, and as we honor and cherish tradition, it's crucial to ensure the welfare of animals remains at the forefront of rodeo practices. While many rodeo events adhere to ethical standards, there's a growing concern over certain practices, including the controversial act of tail pulling in bovines. So, again, that's just a focus on the dogs and stuff and cats and cows. But there's tons of other legislation that's going to come up today, possibly. All right. I'm just going to go through a few of these. You've got Justin Slaughter, who helped make the Safety Act a thing. He's got a bill about law enforcement arrest quotas. House Bill 3617 could come up in committee today. What this does, it amends the county's code, provides that law enforcement officers may not be required to issue a specific number of citations within a designated period of time. And, meet a quota, right? This is something that gets pretty controversial from time to time when people are like, oh, you're just pulling me over because you need to meet a quota. It's the end of the month. There's lots of cops out now and they're pulling people over. So interesting conversation they may have in the Judiciary Committee. Slaughter has another one that could be heard this afternoon in the Judiciary Committee about body cam requests. Let's take a look at this one. The synopsis of House Bill 3380 says that limits disclosures of a recording made when the use of an officer ward body camera, which is flagged due to filing a complaint, discharge of a firearm, use of force, arrest or detention, or resulting death or bodily harm to a request be made by court order. A person involved in the encounter that results in the recording being flagged, and a legal representative of a person involved in the encounter as a result of the recording being flagged, and a witness to the encounter that resulted in the recording being flagged, and several other things. Or a representative of news media. So looks like it's limiting the disclosure of such recordings to only certain classes of people. So body cam footage, very popular. Very, very popular. Whenever we get body cam footage, it's clearly something that a lot of people want to see. These types of interactions where body cam footage gets out are typically the, most harrowing, edge of your seat type of things. I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks ago, we saw body cam footage of a shootout at a gas station in central Illinois from some suspects who did an armed robbery down in Texas. And the guy who apparently was firing at police at this gas station thought he stopped a bullet. Pretty remarkable. But so we could see some interesting conversation there. Another piece of legislation that could come up today in the Environment Committee is single-use plastic foodware. This coming from State Representative Janet Yang Rohr. What this would do is it provides that a food dispensing establishment may provide single-use foodware only upon request of a customer or a self-service station. Specifies that food dispensing establishments shall provide options for consumers to affirmatively request single-use foodware when ordering food and beverages for delivery or takeout across all ordering or point-of-sale platforms, including internet-based applications, digital platforms, phone orders, and such. This then gets into a whole host of other things where we've seen similar types of legislation being filed. One of my colleagues, Katrina Barker, put this story together about a slew of different proposals. You can see this at thecentersquare.com. You've got the National Federation of Independent Business opposing some of these measures, saying it's just going to add on to the cost of doing business. And even measures that are trying to get school districts to try to essentially do away with those types of things. But what about some of the other measures that could come up? There's tons of them. I mean, we were scrolling through just scores and scores and scores of the bills that are in committee today that could come up. And all of these, it's not guaranteed they will, but they could. So if you want this type of preview of sorts, then be sure to get it here with Illinois in Focus Daily each and every weekday morning with the Center Square. All right, stay tuned. We've got some more things to tackle here, including we'll talk about a bill to try to take care of property taxes, a bill about overdose injection sites, and why not some talk about pensions as well. So we'll wrap things up next in the final segment here with Illinois in Focus Daily.